Have you ever really looked at your hand? I mean, truly looked at it. It seems so solid, so real, right? You can tap it on a table. You can feel its weight, its warmth. It's undeniably there. But what if I told you that this solidity, this thingness you perceive, is almost entirely an illusion? Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like some philosophical riddle or something out of a sci-fi movie. But it's not. It's one of the most mind-bending truths revealed by modern physics. To understand it, we need to take a journey deep inside the very fabric of your hand, past the skin, past the cells, all the way down to the atomic level. Everything you see, everything you touch, is made of atoms. Your hand, this desk, the air you're breathing, and for a long time, we pictured atoms like tiny, hard marbles, the ultimate building blocks of a solid reality. But that picture is completely wrong. Let's zoom in on a single atom in your hand. What do we find? At the very center is a tiny, incredibly dense nucleus. It contains protons and neutrons. Then, whizzing around this nucleus at unimaginable speeds, are electrons. Now here, the crazy part. If you were to scale up an atom so that its nucleus was the size of a marble sitting in the middle of a massive sports stadium, the electrons would be like tiny specks of dust flying around the outermost seats. So what's in between the nucleus and the electrons? What fills up the vast majority of that stadium? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Emptiness, pure, unadulterated void. In fact, an atom is over 99.99999% empty space. Let that sink in for a moment. If you could somehow remove all the empty space from the atoms that make up every single human on Earth, the entire human race would fit into a volume about the size of a sugar cube. So, if your hand is mostly empty space, why doesn't it just pass straight through this table when you tap on it? Why can't you walk through walls? This is where it gets even weirder and more wonderful. The feeling of solidity doesn't come from stuff bumping into other stuff. It comes from forces. Specifically, it's the electromagnetic force. The electrons orbiting the nucleus of each atom have a negative charge. And as you might remember from science class, like charges repel each other. When the atoms in your hand get close to the atoms in the table, their electron clouds push against each other. It's this repulsion, this invisible force field, that creates the sensation of touch and solidity. You are not actually touching the table. What you are feeling is the electromagnetic force pushing back. It's an energetic interaction, a dance of forces happening on a scale you can't even imagine. Think of it like two powerful magnets. If you try to push their north poles together, you'll feel a strong resistance long before they physically touch. You're feeling the magnetic field. What you perceive as solid matter is a vastly more complex and intricate version of that same principle. We are beings of energy and force, living in a universe of energy and force that our senses interpret as solid. This isn't just a fun fact. It has profound implications for how we see the world and ourselves. The ancient mystics and spiritual traditions have talked for millennia about the illusory nature of the physical world. They used words like Maya or emptiness. They didn't have quantum physics, but through deep introspection, they arrived at a very similar conclusion, that what we perceive as a solid, separate reality is not the fundamental truth. Physics is now arriving at the same destination, but from a different path. It's showing us, with mathematical precision, that the universe is less like a collection of objects and more like a shimmering, interconnected web of energy fields and probabilities. The world isn't a set of solid things. It's a dynamic, vibrant, and continuous process. The chair you're sitting on isn't just a static object. It's a storm of atomic activity, a delicate balance of forces holding itself together. And you are not a separate, solid entity either. You are a pattern, a wave of energy that is constantly exchanging atoms and energy with your environment. The air you just breathed in is now a part of you. The food you ate is rebuilding your cells. You are not in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. So, the next time you look at your hand, don't just see a solid object. See it for what it truly is. A miraculous, shimmering constellation of energy, a transient pattern in the vast, empty canvas of the cosmos held together by invisible forces. Realize that the feeling of solidity is your brain's beautiful and useful interpretation of a much deeper, much more mysterious reality. A reality that is fluid, interconnected, and mostly, wonderfully, empty. It is a powerful reminder that there is always more to reality than what we can see and touch. The world is not as it seems. It's infinitely more mysterious and magical. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the illusion of solidity. If this blew your mind, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the nature of reality. Until next time, keep questioning.